Hello, Nevada. This is Shannon from the United Black Democratic Caucus, and a lot of us want to know what's going on with the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. A lot of us want to know, why hasn't it passed yet? So I contacted Senator Catherine Cortez Masto's office, and I've contacted U.S. Senator Jackie Rosen's office. Because for tomorrow's meeting, we need to have an answer for the constituents as to why this important bill has not been passed in the Senate yet. I'm sure a lot of you want to know what the heck is going on. So I contacted their offices so I can get an official explanation as to them from them, so I can convey that message to you all so you can get an understanding of why this hasn't passed yet. I know it passed in the Congress. We have, of course, Joe Biden, who is a Democrat president. We have Kamala Harris, vice president, Democrat, of course. We have majority power in the Senate and Congress, so a lot of people are confused as to why this bill has not passed yet. I'm just going to read a little bit from this article because, as we know, Biden gave his State of the Union address last week. Biden, congressional Democrats push for George Floyd Justice in Policing Act by May 25th. Biden had promised executive action on police accountability in the first 100 days of his presidency, but recently changed course to back legislation already making its way through Congress. So he could have created an executive action and he could have backed legislation that would be more permanent and binding, but he backpedaled and he decided he was going to change course and just let this run through the Congress and the Senate. Now, I'm sure some of you want to know why he just didn't do both. Okay? After former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty in the murder of George Floyd last week, progressives celebrated the conviction as a first step in the path to justice for those who have been killed by the police. Now, mind you, no legislation has changed to get this conviction. There have been officers charged, there have been officers not indicted. There have been officers that have been indicted. This conviction came from those jury members voting guilty on all three counts. This conviction did not come as a result of any specific legislation on the public lynching of Black people by law enforcement. As you can see, since this trial, we've had several other cases that have cropped up. So no bills have been passed to get this conviction. This conviction came as a result of those jury members listening to the evidence and finding Derek Chauvin guilty beyond reasonable doubt on all three counts. Now, President Joe Biden said the guilty verdicts were a step forward, but that overall guilty verdict in these types of cases are much too rare and not enough. So you see, it's a step forward, but it's much too rare and it's not enough. So that goes to let you know that there's nothing legislatively that have changed on any state or federal level. It just happens this jury did their job and was unbiased and did their job. Before his election, Biden marked his campaign with a spate of progressive goals, including a pledge to create a National Police Oversight Commission within his first 100 days. Yet that deadline has come and gone without any action on the commission, a decision made after consultation with people in the civil rights community who worried that the Senate would use the issue to stall action on what the Biden administration believes is the best solution for police reform, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Well, Biden created a legislative action for anti-Asian hate crimes because of the COVID anti-Asian hate crimes. He passed executive action for that. And fortunately, the Asian community, our Asian brothers and sisters, were able to get the COVID anti-Asian hate bill passed in the Senate. Only one senator objected to this. And you know, I'm really proud that the Senate was able to swiftly and expeditiously create anti-Asian hate crime laws so swiftly and quickly in this country. Now, this George Floyd Justice and Policing Act is still sitting in limbo in the Senate. It was passed through the Congress, now it's sitting in limbo in the Senate. Joe Biden could have created an executive action similar to what he did with the anti-Asian hate crimes, but he could, and they also passed something in the Senate. So why he's saying the civil rights leaders told him not to pass an executive action, I think that maybe we need to re-examine who we consider civil rights leaders and who we consider leaders of the Black community, because I can't imagine any normal, sane Black civil rights activist or criminal justice reform activist telling Joe Biden, no, don't pass any executive actions. We'll just wait for this to go through the Senate, when you could have done both. Before his election, Biden marked his campaign with a spate of progressive goals, including a pledge to create a National Police Oversight Committee within the first 100 days. I'm repeating this. Yet the deadline has come and gone without any action on the commission. A decision made after consultation with people. Who are these people? In the civil rights community who worried that the Senate would use the issue to stall action on what the Biden administration believes is the best solution for police reform, the George Floyd and Policing Act. The article goes on to say, I know Republicans have their own ideas and are engaged in productive discussions with Democrats in the Senate. We need to work together to find a consensus, but let us get it done next month by the first anniversary of George Floyd's death, Biden said during his joint address to Congress Wednesday night. Now, as we know, Blacks always show up and show out for the Democratic Party in every single election. This last presidential election was a record turnout of voters. And we all know it was Biden versus Trump, the Democrat versus the Republican. I want you to look at this graph chart here. Nearly 90% of Black voters cast their ballots for the Democrats. It says here 87%. That's nearly 90%. And we can't get a bill passed that would protect our lives? So here's what I'm going to need you to do. We only have, as every state does, 2 United States senators. That's Catherine Cortez Masto and Jackie Rosen. Contact their offices yourselves and try to get some answers as to why it takes the Black constituency so long to get anything done. Here's their contact information right here. First of all, find out where they stand on things and find out what is their explanation as to why this bill that's been lingering around hasn't been passed when they were delivered the Congress, the Senate, and the White House. In Las Vegas, you can call 702-388-5020 for Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, and I have on the screen the different offices she has. Her Washington office, 202-224-3542. You put these people in office. They're supposed to negotiate, fight, and represent you. And we want to know what the heck is going on. As for your second senator, U.S. Senator for Nevada, Jackie Rosen. This is her contact information for her offices. So you can be satisfied because I have questions. I've left a message for their offices and I'm hoping to get a response for a meeting tomorrow. But we need to make sure we have these people's office numbers on speed dial and meet with them in person. Make sure you join your local central committee and different things like that. We'll be talking about that tomorrow as well, because nearly 90% of demographics vote. That's a lot. And we shouldn't have to wait and keep being oppressed when we're putting people in office that's supposed to not be racist. They're supposed to be on our side, but yet it takes holy hell for us to get anything passed. But other people can get things passed. So for Las Vegas, Jackie Rosen's telephone number looks like the same number as the other ones, but Las Vegas, Jackie Rosen's number, 702-388-0205. Her Washington, D.C. number, 202-224-6244. Have to be more engaged. And that's what we have to do. Don't just get engaged when it is election time. You have to engage now because you put them in office. You chose these people to represent you in the Senate. You chose, and contact your local Congress people as well. Just say, listen, this George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed through the Congress. Why is it not getting through the Senate? What are the sticking points? What do we need to do as a constituency to put the pressure on to make sure that is passed in the Senate? Because every time it comes to something for Black people, even when it's a Democrat majority, it's always some sort of problem. And we want to know what the problem is so we can fix the problem. And we need to know because there's going to be another election in 2022. And we want to know who's really going to bat for us. There's going to be another presidential election and Senate and congressional election and local state elections in 2022 and 2024 and on and on and on. We need to not just engage on election day. We need to engage throughout this process and in between. Hopefully you can join the United Black Democratic Caucus of Southern Nevada tomorrow, May 4th, 6 p.m. You can join us in person at 3925 North MLK Boulevard, Suite 211 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or you can join us on Zoom. We will be on social media broadcasting the meeting. We're going to be talking about reparations. We have somebody from the ADOS Las Vegas chapter and the Freedman Foundation. We also are going to be talking about our need for a refuge, sanctuary, sovereign, independent reservation city. We are also going to be talking about local and federal legislation and issues. You're going to want to definitely be there. You're going to definitely want to tune in. We're also going to have someone from the Clark County Democratic Party. The chair is going to be speaking about how we can better engage in our local politics by joining the Central Committee and joining meetings and being more proactive. So we look forward to Michael Wise, chairman of the Clark County Democratic Party, being there, and all of our other special guests. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you there.